extension in the offseason that included a record $110 million in guaranteed money. In an article by Jarrett Bell of USA Today, the question was asked whether Goff's extension has been a bust. The QB had no touchdowns and 2 interceptions in their loss to the Steelers on Sunday. On the season, Goff has only 11 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and the defending NFC champ Rams currently sit at 3rd in their own division at 5-4. So, Shannon, does Goff deserve most of the blame?
He does, Skip. He's regressed. And I think it started the last month of the season last year when Todd Gurley came up with this injury. They were 3rd in rushing last year. They're 20th this year. And he needs, he works best when he has a running game. And when he does not have a running game, and there are some quarterbacks, Skip, if they don't have a running game, they can throw you to victory. He's not there yet. And I don't know if he's going to get there because he looks like a totally different player now that they can't run the football with conviction like they once could. And that offensive line, now, I don't know what happened, Skip, but you talk about looking like they got old overnight. His offensive line looked bad. They can't protect him. They don't open holes for Gurley. And Gurley, and a part of this, a reporter asked Gurley, are you surprised you didn't play much in the 4th quarter? He's like, no, I'm used to it now. And therein lies the problem. Now, something is going on, and I said, look, something's not right, Skip. You don't have a guy, and Todd Gurley last year, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, I think he was voted in the players poll NFL Network had, I think he was the 5th or the 6th rated player in all the NFL. Wow. Now, you go from what he did in the regular season. Now, he missed the last 3 weeks. They brought C.J. Anderson in. Okay, he had that monster game against the Cowboys in the opening round. And then they
C.J. had even bigger.
Right. And it's, yeah. And then you play against New Orleans in the championship game, and you get 5-6 carries, and then you play in the Super Bowl with all the marbles on the table, all the money chips pushed to the middle, and you get 5 or 6 more carries. So we knew something was wrong. Something is going on, Skip, because he's not the workhorse back. Why wouldn't he be when he's the 2nd highest paid running back in football? But to take it back to Jared Goff, Skip, he's regressed. He deserves the lion's share of the blame. And what has happened also is that what happened in college, Skip, when the coordinator tell you, okay, throw it here, the guy's normally going to be open. If you remember, Skip, Todd McVay is in his ear. Okay, such and such is going to be open. What happens when that player is not open? And he has to go, one's not there, and he has to go 2 to 3. He's struggling to transition from getting off 1 to go into 2 and 3. And because they can't run the football, all that laundry is in his lap and is piling up faster than he can wash it.
True. So what have I told you from the start? That Jerry Jones is being forced to overpay because the Rams overpaid Todd Gurley first, just because he's hurt. I'm not saying he's not worthy of the money and talent, but then they way overpaid Jared Goff to me. And they're going to have to live with that, while Jerry's going to maybe have to overpay Dak Prescott on market value. But I've also told you from the start, Dak Prescott is better than Jared Goff.
Okay.
And again, we got a 4th rounder versus the 1st overall pick.
Right.
But the 4th rounder has proven at every turn to be a little to a lot better than Jared Goff. And I'm not ready to dismiss Jared Goff as a bust. He's just a little better than average to me. And I do think last year he was, in large part, a product of the wizard, the boy genius that was Sean McVay. And all of a sudden, that has been exposed because the offensive line has turned into a shambles. And it happened overnight.
It turned into a turnstile when it turned into.
And it did. And now they've shipped guys out and they've replaced, and all of a sudden, they can't protect, they can't run it, they can't do much of anything, and they got held to 12 points at Pittsburgh. 12
averaging
points?
20, they were averaging 27.
Wow.
Now, Pittsburgh has gotten better defensively. I think the addition of Minka Fitzpatrick, Skip, he's tossed his hat into the Defensive Player of the Year discussion.
I also told you before the year, I love this Pittsburgh defense. If Roethlisberger could have been healthy, I'm still not sold on Mason Rudolph. Like you are. I don't see it, but whatever.
He's doing a great job of whatever they're asking him to do. They've been able to run the ball just enough to keep teams honest.
Well, we're going to see him at Cleveland on Thursday night. We'll see.
Short week. We'll see what happens. But Skip, I mean, you have to ask yourself, $110 million guaranteed, $134 million total contract. That's a lot of money. And when you play a guy that kind of money, if the running game's not there, you expect him to be able to throw you to the destination you need to get. And the questions they're going to have to ask themselves moving forward, if Todd Gurley can't ever be the guy that he once was, do you believe Jared Goff can take you where you need to be.
All right. Now to the Rams' defense or lack thereof. They gave up 55 points at home to Tampa Bay. 55 points. They got dominated by the 49ers here at the Coliseum in L.A. They have given up the 15th most points in all of pro football, and yet they have what you say is by far not only the best player on defense, the best player in all of football on that defense is obviously Aaron Donald, and yet they're 15th in points allowed. I can't put those two together.
They don't go together.
Okay.
And that's disappointing because you look at the first rounders they got on the defensive line. Clay Matthews, yes, Skip, he's a little long in the tooth, but he still can rush the pass a little bit. He was a first rounder. Aaron Donald was a first rounder. Broncos was a first rounder. Fowler was a first rounder. They're loaded with first rounders up there.
And they got Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, first
Now
rounder.
what? Okay.
And
Be the big move.
it's not something is not computing.
Nope. What is not computing? I love Wade Phillips. You played for Wade Phillips.
I played for 2 years. He was my defensive coordinator my first 3 years in the league.
Something is not clicking. Is it just the Super Bowl loser syndrome where you come back the next year and you just can't get right? You just can't get it back?
But my thing is, Skip, it seems like you would be even hungrier. Getting so close, almost getting to drink from the cup. And you're right there. And like, man, I'm doing everything I possibly can, but I can't, with the exception of what Buffalo done it, New England's done it. But seems like when you lose that game, it's like everything is lost.
All of a sudden, they have gone from dominant to getting dominated.
And everybody wanted that guy, Sean McVay treat.
I know.
Matt LaFleur and all these guys were getting jobs. They're like,
It's not looking so hot anymore.
No.
You know what? I'll
McVay
take the
experience.
Cowboys 5-4 over the Rams.
I was going to
5-4.
bring up that same record.
Yeah.
3-0 start,
Thank you.
lost 4 of the past 6.
Yep.
It's similar.
yeah.
Yet,
And they're not careful, but well, I know one for sure. I feel very comfortable saying one for sure will not make the playoffs.
Boy, that's going
okay,
out on a
we're going to
limb.
leave it on that. We actually do have to talk
Guess
about
which one
Dak
it
a little
is.
bit. I'm pretty sure Nick Bosa may have been trolling Dak
This
last
is
night. And this
out of
video,
bounds.
No,
you
it ain't.
got
Out
to
of
see
bounds.
it. Stay with us.